Welcome back to the mid-sack. Hey, cool and crisp mid-sack. It is past the witching hour, starting the witching hour, 10 p.m. here in the East on a Sunday night. Welcome back to I Don't Disagree, IDD, for those of you that know. Segment 2, continuing our discussion, preseason football. This is the thing about, there is some of the things going on here. And one of them now, this team we're about to mention here, just up the road, not the Commanders, just north of them, the Baltimore Ravens. Now, at last check, they were, or I should say, their MVP quarterback, Lamar Jackson, was up for, or will be up for an extension. I don't know if it's the end of this year, but it's coming up, whether it's this year or next year. So anyway, he is talking about cutting off talks once the regular season begins. The Ravens missed a golden opportunity here if, in fact, he is their guy. Keyword is if, because why would this have gone in this long unless it's still a wait and see? What I can tell you right now is if he's still going to be forced to dance for his supper, you better be prepared to pony up the greenbacks, because if this kid goes out and does what he's capable of doing, which is having another MVP caliber year, if he gets any help in the passing game besides the tight end there, you're looking at a price tag that's going to be north of Deshaun Watson, okay? Because he's going to want that money. He's won a league MVP. Deshaun Watson has not. So I think that the Ravens made a mistake here if he's their guy. If he's not their guy, then is this about, having he played and has a great season, and then you can get more for him in a trade? I mean, there's a couple of ways to look at this. And maybe the Ravens fans, I don't know too many, off the top of my head, diehard Ravens fans. I used to work with one. He was a diehard, knew his stuff. But I haven't seen him in a while, a couple of years. So I don't know what his thought. I'd be curious to if I ran into what his thoughts would be on this, in terms of what's going on with Lamar. I mean, because there's two schools of thought here. There's they need to see one more year of him at an MVP level to know that he can consistently play at that level, and then they're gonna pay him whatever he wants. And if that's the case, fine, okay. But if they're not sure, or they know that, look, no matter what he does, this guy, we're not going to win a Super Bowl. So let's put him under the gun. Let's see if he has a great year. If he does, we can trade him for a boatload of stuff. Because if he has a Pro Bowl year and they make the playoffs, but they fall short again, and they decide that they can get draft picks up the wazoo for him if he has an MVP caliber year. Look, it's hard. It is hard to find a franchise quarterback. It just is. There are lots of teams out there that are still spinning their tires on this, that are still unsure of the guy under center. Philadelphia is one. Miami's another. The Commanders up north, Carson Wentz is do or die for him. If he doesn't show up this year, then they're back to square one. So, I mean, this is rampant throughout the league. There's a lot of them that you just don't know, okay? That they're good, but are they good enough? That you need. It's all about Super Bowls, people. When you got $1 billion, owner, he's spending that kind of money. The expectations should be Super Bowl. That's what it is. You got to get. And there's a number of teams that have not won a Super Bowl yet. So if he being Lamar Jackson, I don't know if they're dangling him as he has a great year. His trade value goes up. We can get it. If that's their thought, okay. They're not going to certainly tell you that. I'm not going to tell Lamar Jackson that. But and if he is your guy, you say, look, you had another great year. It's a blank check. And maybe they're thinking that too. I don't know. What I do know is they're playing with fire. Okay, because this can go a number of ways. Most of them are bad. Because if you lose him for nothing, that's a problem, okay? And if he decides to leave because he feels like he's not valued there, that's a problem. If the owner's like, look, if he performs again, he'll get whatever he wants, then that's fine too. But you're playing with fire here, because even if it's the latter where we're trying to build him up, he has a great year under the gun, so he becomes a great trade asset for us to go into direction because they don't think he's the quarterback that can bring him there. I mean, Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl there. Joe Flacco is no Lamar Jackson. Now, Joe Flacco did have a great, he had a great defense. He had a great running game. He had things around it. Okay? He didn't have to be that guy. He just had to not screw it up. You're driving the car, just don't crash the car. Okay? So, and look, you can win a Super Bowl that way. It's been proven. It's been done a multitude of times just in my lifetime with quarterbacks that were good but not great, not franchise altering, but they were good enough because the rest of the team was, and all you had to do was just drive the car and don't crash it. You can win Super Bowls that way. Okay? It's not, there's more ways skin a cat here. So, but this thing here with him, something's fishy. Something doesn't seem right. And look, maybe tomorrow he signs a 10-year, 300, I mean, who knows? Maybe that happens tomorrow and this is all for naught. But right now, as it stands on Sunday night past 10 o'clock, and he doesn't have an extension yet, what's the holdup? What gives? Are you far apart? Are you close? Where are we on this? I know that when things go silent like this, one of two things are happening. Either they're very, very close to a deal, or they're worlds apart. They're worlds apart. And if he's saying, look, we're going to break this off when the season starts, that sounds to me like he's got them on you're on a timer. You got a couple of weeks to keep me here at the number I want, or now I'm going to open it up. So, and again, I'm not sure what his contract status is. I think he's coming into his last year of his rookie contract. I'm not sure, but I'm very interested. I'd love to be a fly on the wall up there in Baltimore and hear what's going on in that front office. What are they thinking? Because while if it's about him having a career year or coming up on having an MVP type year again, and then they use that into several high draft picks, maybe a quarterback in return that they think, I don't know. But I just know the longer this thing goes, the more it's going to favor or fall in the lap of Lamar Jackson. He's going to benefit him more than them. So I'd love to know what the diehards in purple and black are thinking right now. I'd love to know what their thought is in this. Is he your guy? Do you think he's your guy? We've talked about the Cowboys and Dak Prescott. I've got one guy who thinks that he is, and one guy who's convinced he's not. And it would surprise you which one is which. But these are things you gotta figure out long term. You gotta have that quarterback position set for 10 years. That can't be something look at all these teams that have been spinning their tires for years about trying to find a franchise quarterback. I mean, none of them are anywhere near the Super Bowl. None of them. So this is a big deal right now. The other thing that's on the docket here, Joe Burrow, you've heard of him, has returned to practice with the Bengals in 7-on-7 drills. Very encouraging sign there. If you're a Bengals fan, getting that guy back, he had a great rookie year, but man, did he take a beating. They did a good job, I thought, the Bengals in the offseason of addressing that offensive line. They got some solid frontline starters with experience to get in there and keep him on his feet. Joe Burrow's a tough kid. He earned a ton of respect from me last year because of the pounding that he took and kept getting up and kept getting. Damn near won that Super Bowl. They were very close. And but I think the front office is doing right by him and by the organization that they've addressed that main concern. They're going to be a top 5 offense this year, barring injury, I think, and they're going to be right there again. So AFC is loaded. It is loaded with good teams. I can count on one hand the number of bad teams in the AFC right now. I probably wouldn't need all 5 digits. So it's going to be a very competitive American Football Conference this year, much more so than the NFC, I think. If I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan right now, we got to get this damn QB thing. You can't have this hanging into the season unless that is your plan, is to force this guy to play for a contract or to play himself up so well that he becomes very tradable. You can, if his contract's not up, and again, I'll confirm that probably before Wednesday night. I'll get back to you on that. But if that's the thought process, okay, fine. But you better have somebody in the hopper, because I know what I do know is that there's a lot of Ravens fans. There's a lot of Lamar Jackson jerseys out there, and they are not going to want to see him go. So I just you better have an immediate answer to that if that is your plan, which is to use his performance on the field to parlay it into a slew of draft picks and get him to the other conference or something where you have to deal with him before, every 4 years. And then you find the quarterback that you think is going to get you to the Super Bowl if you think he's not that quarterback. Again, I don't know. But I just know that this has taken a long time for something that probably should have been done already. It's just, yeah, he's confirmed. Actually, he said this yesterday. After Saturday's practice, he will cut off talks by week 1. That's 4 weeks away. He says we're coming up to it. Season's coming up. We're going to be good for the season. He is 25. So he's in his 5th year option. It's going to pay him $23 million this year. If a deal isn't finalized by March 7th, they'd have to place a franchise tag on him. Okay, so here, all right. So there you go. They have to have a deal in place by March 7th. They have to franchise him to keep him. So yeah, they're literally under the gun here. So how close are they? Are they close at all? I mean, look, if this is about Deshaun Watson money, just give him the Deshaun Watson money. That to me is a no-brainer. By all accounts, he hasn't been in any trouble. He's been a model citizen outside, away from the playing field. He's only 25. He's got at least 10 good years left if you can continue to develop him into a pocket passer where he's only running out of necessity and not as part of the offense, because they're all just one hit away. To me, it's at 25 in the last year. Lock that kid up and go get him a bunch of weapons and start to develop. Here's what I don't understand. Jim Harbaugh's a quarterback. He's played quarterback in the NFL. How does he not know how to develop a pocket passer? Or maybe he's tried that and he's like, this guy can't win. We can't win this way with him. We can win this way with him. Because that's the thing. He's been with him for a while now. Why is he not developed into a pocket passer? Okay? In lieu of not having any weapons on the outside, anyone got Anquan Bolden, I think, at one point. I mean, he was past his prime, I think. So, I mean, what is the plan up there? And where is he in his development? I know he can run backwards faster than most DBs can run forward. I know what kind of a playmaker he is in the run game, but he's a quarterback who can only take so many hits. And it just takes one. Or in the case of Zach Wilson, you Jets fans out there, he didn't even get hit. And he's out 2 to 4 weeks. I mean, that, by the way, that could happen to Lamar Jackson. Look, I don't want my quarterback running unless he has no choice, because he should be making his bones with his right shoulder and his arm, not with his legs, not with his getaway sticks. So I'm very interested to see how this plays out over the next 3-4 weeks with the Ravens, because if he is not locked up going into this season, you got a problem. You got a major league problem. The longer he stays available, if he continues to play, he plays good, or has a great year again, that price tag is going to go up. And now you can forget Deshaun Watson money. He's going to demand something well north of that. If he has another Pro Bowl MVP caliber season, and he's devoid of weapons. He doesn't, in spite of that, like he did a couple of years ago. So I'm not sure what the Ravens are doing here, but they're playing hardball, and I'm not sure this is the guy you want to play hardball. So hopefully that gets resolved for the Ravens' sake soon. For you Jets fans, the good news is Zach Wilson is only 2 to 4 weeks out. I saw that play. I think everybody saw that play. And that's the kind of play where it's the MCL and he's done for the year. So thankfully that wasn't the case, and he should be back for the start of the regular season if they take care of him and play their cards right. The kid's coming into year 2. He shows a lot of promise. They've gone out and they've drafted well. Jets have. So he's got some talent around him now. I don't know much about the coach. He's first-year coach. We'll see what he's like down the road. But you've got to have that guy under center on week 1. So it looks like that will or should happen. So lastly tonight, we are going to finish with a trip around the sun here for baseball. They, just so you know, now that most of the games are over. I think there's a couple of games on the left coast still going on. But currently, right now, you've got the Yankees, who are now 2.5 games behind the Astros for the number 1 seed in the American League. And then in the National League now, the Mets are, I'd say, call it 5 games behind the Dodgers for the number 1 seed in the NL. In terms of the wild card races, the AL has this is a ridiculous. Toronto, if the season ended today, it would be the Blue Jays and the Mariners, and looks like the Rays would be in, which would leave Baltimore, Minnesota, Chicago on the outside. looking out. But again, from Tampa Bay to Chicago, which is 4 teams, only 2 games separates them. So Donniebrooks abound in the coming 6, 7 weeks in the American League. In the National League right now, Atlanta is 6 in front for that first one. Then it's San Diego, Phillies, and then you've got Milwaukee, a game and a half back of Philly. Frisco is 6 back. So that's really, it's really 4 teams for 3 spots. Milwaukee and Philly are going to be slugging it out for that one. With San Diego and Philadelphia are really only separated by a half a game. This is going to be interesting, but it's smaller. There's less teams in the National League than there are in the American League in terms of those last 3 spots. So look, it's August 14th. So 2 weeks left in August, and you got all of September. So 6 weeks to go here. We're in the home stretch officially with baseball, and there's some very interesting, and exciting wild card races. You'll notice there was a team missing from that discussion. That would be the Boston Red Sox. Yes, I did notice. They beat the Yankees tonight 3-0, shut them out, took 2 out of 3. I don't give a fuck. You shouldn't give a fuck. Nobody should give a fuck. Okay? And you know why? Because they're not worth a fuck. Okay? The ownership has made that determination. Okay? They did not go out the trade deadline and get what they needed to get in any way, shape, or form. They needed to add either a frontline starter, a closer, or another bat. All they did was let one good bat go and replace it with another decent bat. That means they did nothing. They didn't move the needle. And now their race is out for the year. Okay, again. So I'm not even, they took 2 out of 3 innings. The guys in the locker room are not going to quit. That's admirable. I commend them for that. But unless they get to 2.5, 3 games out in this thing, I'm not bringing them up. I'm not bringing them up. It's not worth bringing them up. Okay, they're just not worth it. Their front office has basically told their fan base that. And again, I'm not saying they didn't try to make moves at the deadline, but they didn't try hard enough as far as I'm concerned. Money is not that team's issue. And for John Henry to cry poor up there in that market is a load of crap. So, they won tonight. They shut the Yankees out. Who cares? We'll see what they do in the next week. Look, if by Thursday night they're a game over 500, okay, we'll see if they've moved the needle. We'll give them another 3 days to see what happens. But until then, don't expect to hear much from them. Okay, because the guy tonight pitched a gem. He did. I'm not holding my breath on the Boston Red Sox. And my friendly advice to all of you up there in New England: don't you hold your breath on the Boston Red Sox. Get excited about the Patriots. Keep an eye on this Tyquan Thornton character, this burner from Baylor, the burner from Baylor, as I call him, or we'll call him now. I just thought of that. And we will catch you guys Wednesday nights in the mid-sack or midweek. So, hey, man up Monday, tipping back Tuesday. Start the week off right. Get it done. And lastly tonight, we have a new addition to the sack. As I don't know if last time we told you he wasn't here yet, but he is now. Shout out to Reeves Austin Murray. I got to meet the little bugger last night. He is everything adorable. He is adorable. If you looked up adorable, there'd be a picture of Reeves Austin right there, that little face. He is great. So happy for Heather and DJ. Congratulations again. He is now in the sack. The kids got to meet him last night. They were just smitten, and they've all said they've already drawn up a contract. So I'm not sure what that is going to entail, DJ, rather yet. I don't know what meetings went on after this, but they are smitten with your little boy, and with good reason, as are all of us. We are so happy for you, and we are so happy he is here in the sack. And I got news for you. There are eyes on him that you don't even understand. And I mean that in a good way. So welcome, Reeves Austin Murray, as I call him, Rama. That's his new nickname, Rama. So hopefully he's sleeping right now, and my loudmouth didn't wake him up, because they're just right next door, by the way. But that is it for this evening. You guys start off the week right. Hey, you guys up the six-pack from New England up there. Up in Massachusetts, there finishing up RJ weekend. Have a great night tonight. Your last night there. I think you're going home tomorrow. Hope you had fun. The weather cooperated, and I want updates. I want some news. I want some stuff from the festivities this weekend. I want to hear the dirt. I want to download the 411. Okay, which hopefully didn't involve a 911. So anyway, you guys have a great start to the week. We will see you Wednesday night, 72 hours from now. Mark it down. See you then.